Good morning, math students. This is Mrs. Williams. Okay, we're going to go over two different word problems today. And let's go ahead and get started. Make sure you are taking notes in your composition notebook. And this will help you with memory retention and how to do these problems. The more we do word problems, the better you're going to get at it. And I know you do really great things because I believe in you. Okay, the question number one. Last year, Mr. Robinson planted corn on 5.4 acres on his farm. His neighbor planted 2.5 times as many acres of corn. How many acres of corn did Mr. Robinson's neighbor plant? Okay. Anytime you take like maybe the Ames test or Smart Balance test, let's get in the habit of putting our KWL chart. K is what we know. W is what we want to learn. And then L is what we have learned. Okay. And so we just make this basic chart, KWL chart. Okay, so what do we know about this? Okay, we know that there is a 5.4 acres on Mr. Robinson's farm, so I'm just going to put R right there. And then we know his neighbor, we're just going to abbreviate with N, has 2.5. Okay, what do we want to know or here? So we're going to find out is how many more acres or how many acres of corn. Acres. You can see Mrs. Williams is not woken up yet. How many acres did Mr. Robinson's neighbor plant? Okay. All right, now the next question, we're going to come back here to know, are we going to be multiplying, dividing, are we going to be adding, subtracting? What do you think? Just go ahead and take about 5 seconds to think about what would you do. Okay. All right, I'm actually going to show you two different ways we can solve the same problem. Okay, so I'm going to get me out another piece of notebook paper. Okay, we know that we have 5.4 acres, right? I can't spell acres, I don't know why. There we go. All right. And our neighbor has 2.5. So if we have like, okay, that's 1, and that's 2, and here's like half right here, right? So here we have 5.4, 5.4, and then we have a half. Okay. How do we figure out a half? Well, we divide it by 2, right? So 2 can go into 5 how many times? That's 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Then we're going to subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. Bring down that 4. 2 goes into 14 7 times. 7 times 2 is 14. And now we have that. So this is 2.7. Okay, so if we add all this stuff up, and I'm going to add it right here, 5.4, 5.4, and 2.7. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 7 is 15. Okay, 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 5 is 11. And 11 plus 2 is 13. Okay, so we have the neighbor planted 13.5. Okay, so this is one way to solve the problem. Okay, I'm going to show you the other way. And sometimes it's good to do two different ways, because in that way you could check your answer. All right, so another way we can put it is if you said multiply earlier, we multiply 5.4 times 2.5. Yeah, you're correct. You're absolutely correct. So let's do this. Okay, what's 5 times 4 is what? 20. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 2 is 27. Okay, you remember we're going to add a 0 because we're moving to the tens place, excuse me. 8 times, I'm sorry, 2 times 4 is 8. And then 2 times 5 is 10. So we got 1080. Okay, 0 plus 0 is 0. And then 7 plus 8 is 15. 1 plus 2 is 3. And then 1. Okay, and remember we're dealing with decimals. Since we have two numbers right of the decimal place, we're going to move the decimal from right to left. It's 13.5. Or you can put 13.50. It does not make any difference. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn back to our KWL chart. What did we learn? Okay, what do we need? So going back to our question, how many acres did Mr. Robertson's neighbor plant? Okay, remember when it comes to word problems, what do we have to do? We have to answer back into a sentence. So we're just going to copy Mr. Robertson's neighbor planted 13.5 acres of corn, period. Okay, that's not so bad. All right, and I'm gonna stop this video, and then you're gonna go on to the next video. Okay.